where it said it should be 1 to 1.
Well, you can use heavy syrup. Heavy syrup is more effective in the early spring.
Yeah, yeah, that's
and
what
late in the fall to get the colony provisioned for winter. Whoa!
Do you worry about too many hives being concentrated in one area?
You can. Mm-hmm. Sure, you can overload an area.
So if you can have quite a few of them, how far apart should they be?
Proximity doesn't really have that much to do with it. It's just if you get 50 colonies in an area that'll only sustain 25 productively, well, you've overgrazed,
yes. So
if you will, the region.
Where's your water source for all of your bees? Where do you keep the water?
See all those tanks on the other side of the building over there?
Okay. So
So that's just rainwater collection.
How do you keep them from getting in pools?
Don't ever let them get started watering there to begin with.
Teach them to swim.
Seriously though, that's the easiest way to solve that problem, is to provide another source of water and that's closer, more convenient, fewer chemicals in it, and they will nearly always go to someplace else. If they're already watering at your pool, you might consider moving your colony somewhere else for a while and then moving them back with another source of water closer. What have I got this boot down? Yeah. All right. Okay, so top bar hive again, okay? This one's built a little tighter than the one we first looked at. The basic idea here is going to be to give them an entrance, okay, right there. See, I'm removing the cork, okay? We're going to encourage them to build comb on the bottoms of these top bars. We're going to give them some food.
Do y'all raise them like with those frames like that, or is this just to show us how it can be done?
We sell top bar hives with bees in them eventually.
I know, but do y'all raise them, or y'all just sell them?
Do I raise? What are we?
Which ones you prefer to use?
Oh, I prefer to use Langstroth equipment. It's just so much easier.
Yeah.
But right now, this is really popular, and I understand it. It's an appealing thing for a lot of people. So I think maybe I'll give them a little more room. I had the follower board there, but I'm going to move it down a little bit. And see, it's already, some of that syrup has run out pretty fast. That's okay. It's going to pull a vacuum here in a bit, and it'll slow down. But I need to get my bees in there, and they'll take that out immediately. All right, now I deliberately have this can end upside down because this package was a little older than the other ones that were sold today, and nearly all the syrup had been eaten anyway, and I had to put a queen in it because I didn't have a queen to start with. Backup smoker, you still got that going? You always want to put a little smoke on your bees before you mess with them. So the first step in hiving a package is to get the queen out and make sure she's alive. She better be alive, because, oh, look, it's got a hive beetle. Get it quick.
Got a what?
Hive beetle.
Wow.
They're attracted to bees. So take your queen, make sure she's kicking, right? And you can use your hive tool sometimes.
Is that a marked queen or a clip queen?
Yes, this one happens to be clipped and marked. See the white dot on her thorax?
Oh yeah.
Those are, you change the color ears?
Yeah, we try to change the color up. All right, and then you suspend the queen, or otherwise get her in there where the bees can release her. You can leave her on the bottom if you want. It's just not recommended if you can get her. Duct tape is a really wonderful thing to have, and I don't have any right now with me. So instead I'm going to mash my finger probably.
If you just
since I don't have my staple gun with me. What's that?
I was just going to ask, if you just push them together, would that hold it, or
Yeah,
how
you
they fall
can-
on the bottom?
You can do that.
It's better to have her hang up.
If I can get it in there just a little bit like I did, it's better than nothing at all. Okay, and then, you know, you can just dump the bees in there. How do you do that? Back and forth.
So what is that like?
Or you can pull the screen off.
Yeah.
And make it faster.
Oh, you just lost your queen.
What?
I meant the
I'd
queen
knock it
just
down?
fell off.
Yeah.
Take a dive.
We'll get her back on there.
So is that like about 3 pounds of bees? Is that
Mhm.
what's doing over y'all?
So that's, you know, somewhere between 11 and 12,000.
Yeah.
If it's right on the money. And then leave the rest of them crawl out. Excuse me. I need to drop it on your foot. Come on. Just need one leg of the end.
Oh, they're already hanging all over it.
Yeah, they take care of the queen.
So I guess it doesn't take them long to know there's a queen in there, right? I mean, they just
Yeah, they'll
sense it, or
they smell her.
oh.
Should have left well enough alone. I had one leg in. But if worst comes to worst, we can just leave it on the bottom too. That will work.
So they'll get her out of that little box.
See, yeah, we got to take the cork out of the candy end. Okay.
Uh-huh.
Don't make that mistake, right? So if you've got a pocket knife with you or a toothpick, you can use your hive tool, but for beginners, it's usually better practice not to, because you might split the cage. And with a package, it's less of a risk than it is if you're trying to requeen a colony. But you want to get the bees acquainted with the queen before she's out of the cage, right? No, they're gonna. That's right. They're gonna release her gradually over time.
So was there candy inside that after they pulled the cork out?
Yeah, right.
they
Right at
gotta
the
eat
bottom part of the
food.
cage is candy
There's
right there.
like
See the white?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So they have to eat through that.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all don't put any wax on those frames when you put them in?
You can. You sure can. It makes them like the place, feel like home a little better if you do.
So you only have one like this that has the wood on it.
Yeah, at least in this hive.
So how long would it be with in a setup like this before you get honey out of it?
No
Like
telling.
next season, or?
No, you know, you ought to be able to get honey out of the hive in May, I would think. It just depends. It just depends.
So how much, how long does that feed last?
This won't last any time at all. You know, you can come back in here and reprovision it in 3 days' time.
Wow.
How often do you have to feed them?
Well, my rule of thumb is if it's the first package you've ever tried to hive, and you're hiving it on foundation, just sheets of wax, so it's not drawn comb, feed them until they've drawn most of the foundation in your hive body. But keep an eye. So, do you know what foundation looks like? Okay. Well, when they've drawn the foundation out so that there's comb, as we observed in the colonies that we've worked through,
So
then
until then?
yeah, because it's a very energetically expensive enterprise for them to build wax. It takes 8 pounds of honey for them to produce 1 pound of wax. Okay. And they'll do it on their own if they're on a honey float. But if they're not on a honey float,
You may want
it'll
that
take
up
a
there,
while.
Dion.
Pardon
You
me?
want that cork?
Yeah, I'll do something with it. Take it to the next top bar hive. See, I pulled it out of the entrance over here on this side so that they have some place to get out. But if you really want to be foolproof about your chances of success, come around here and look. what I would recommend doing is, as long as you're not having to hive your package and then travel back to Houston or Dallas or something and leave your hive far away, you can lock them in for 24 hours. And that increases the probability that they won't try to just pick up and leave. One of the tricky things about doing this in a top bar hive is that it's been my experience anyway that it's more difficult to get them to adopt that as home immediately. I don't know why that is, but often is the case. So you could just put the cork in, and then come back tomorrow and release them to fly. They've been in this package long enough that I think they regard one another as nest mates. So I'm going to take the chance that won't happen. Plus, I may not be here tomorrow. So. I'd sure rather not cause them to melt down.
Should we keep our layings, put the excluder on it for 24 hours when we put the nuke in? Will it make any difference?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
I mean, that's my recommended practice. For instance, we can illustrate how you might do the same thing in Langstroth equipment. I'm trying to remember which one of these. Is that one the empty one? One of these used to be empty. I may have a hive in all of them now. Kind of looks like I do.
Now I see a few of them going in there. So
Let's take a look. Let's see what we got. Oh yeah, this has turned into a booming hive of bees. And if you're hiving a package on comb, it grows a lot faster. You typically want to center your